We are back, Leslie and Chanel. Super excited. Um, we took a little bit of a hiatus, smidge of a hiatus from our book club, but I wanted to remind you that this is what we're going through, are becoming your own health detective. Here's your clue: helpful hints for finding answers by our dear friend Liz James, who's awesome. I will put a link to the book. Oh, there she is. She's her cute picture. I will put a link to the book in the reposting all this. So we had been doing this on Fridays, but we just were not able to do it on Fridays. So we're like, here we go. So Tuesday morning, if you're joining us, awesome. And if you catch it later, that's great too. So what we have been doing in this book, this is volume 1 of the book. She's actually working on volume 2, which I'm super excited about. But she walks through, this is Liz James, she walks through various parts of our body and giving us information on the clues of how to, like how to learn stuff, like how to pay attention to what's happening in our body. So, oh, I'm breaking out here, or this smells, or this looks funny, whatever it is. And to start to figure out like, I wonder what that might actually mean is happening in my body. So we have, and you can look on each of our Facebook pages, we've already gone through the first 3 chapters, but I just want to kind of give you an overview again of those. So chapter 1 was unpacking your hands, and we actually looked at our fingernails and what we could learn about that. Number 2 was the skinny on the skin. So we looked at our skin, particularly like if you're breaking out in certain places, what that means more deeply about what's happening in your body. So for example, on that really quickly, like if you're like, for me, like the last couple of weeks, I've been breaking out along my jawline, and that is about hormones, right? So now I'm really trying to pay attention to like, okay, let's make sure I'm balanced in all of the things. In September, we did chapter 3, the Candida spit test. That's when Danette Goodyear was our guest. And so we showed our spit on live camera. That was fun. That was a good time. I was like, what's your spit look like, Danette? Here's what mine looks like. And so today we are going to talk about every breath you take. And so if a song is going through your head, you may sing it to yourself. That would be lovely. But we're going to talk about what we learn about our breath. So here we go. Super excited. I'm not going to read all of it. Obviously, go get the book yourself. It's worth the investment. But with our breath, so here's some of the clues that she kind of says to look at. So basically, it's like when you wake up, or it could be any time of the day, if you notice for yourself, this is what this smells like, or if you have a close companion or child, a dependent of some sort in your household, that when you get up in the morning, they're like, wow, that's what's happening in this region of your body. If it perhaps is rotten or a decaying smell, it could be a sign of gingivitis or rotten tooth or medication. And you know what, Precious Chanel, that I just realized, let's do our disclaimer.
Yeah.
Could you do our disclaimer before I go any further?
Let's see. Do I remember after 4 months?
Paraphrase.
What we're going to talk about today has not been approved by the FDA. So use your own knowledge. We will be talking about Young Living products, but do your own research and be your own best advocate. So nothing has been approved by the FDA.
Love it.
Something.
That's
basically what it is.
There you go.
Use your own wisdom. Do your own research.
Yes.
This is here. We're a tool to help you figure out what you could use to add to your toolbox, your wellness toolbox, and your coping skills.
Yes.
So
love that. Thank you. So now I'm going to continue on talking about gingivitis freely. Okay. So if you're sort of not necessarily waking up, but generally as you're smelling your breath, rotten or decaying odor is what your breath is sort of smelling like. It may be a sign of gingivitis, rotten tooth, or particular medication that could be causing a dry mouth, right? And if you've got a dry mouth, that can set the stage for bacterial invasion. So there's that. If you have a sweet or fruity odor, which sounds quite lovely actually, it could be ketoacidosis. So this is not uncommon perhaps if your diet is maybe even keto based. She talks about that, but in short, your body is burning fat instead of glucose, right? So that can be a sign of what that means. If your breath is sort of smelling sour or acidic, Contrary to common thought, she notes that reflux is not often the result of too much acid, but it can be the enzyme process not functioning as well as it should be, right? So enzymes would be like in short order for you of what you might want to consider. Again, doing your own research, but just be thinking like, that's making me think about this. If there is a metallic breath, aspect of your breath. Like I've had actually metallic taste before in my mouth when I was pregnant, but now we're talking about actually a metallic smell to your breath. This can also be certain medications. So just think about some of the stuff that you might be taking, antibiotics, chemo medications, some arthritis medications, certain blood pressure medications. So kind of look at the list and be like, oh, maybe that's what sort of this is. If you have, this one was new to me in terms of hearing it, a faintly mothball-like smell, there's that, no judgment. Could be chronic allergies, sinus infection, postnasal drip, which actually kind of got me thinking because I'm certainly prone to allergy and sinus stuff. So now I'm kind of curious, like if I ever wake up and I'm feeling that, I'm going to be like, babe, smell my breath. Does it smell like a moth? And then I'll be like, that's because postnasal drip. Just saying. Come over, people, if I'm having a sinus allergy problem, and come smell the moth breath. It'll be awesome. If your breath is smelling moldy or musty, this could be have something to do with your liver function. All right. Significant morning breath. So this is different from like, okay, I just rolled over and maybe I ate like pizza or Doritos like before I went to sleep, and now I roll over and it's like a hot mess in the morning. We're not talking about that. Like we're talking like even if you fully brush your teeth at night, you're still waking up with like full on like not awesome breath. So as she says, which I love, she said there's a difference between dragon breath and gecko breath. Like we are talking straight up flaming what's happening here. So that could also be due to like dry mouth, perhaps if you're sleeping with your mouth open. Remember, dry mouth can lead to like sort of the just bacteria kind of hanging out. Now, like think about it, like if you have a common cold or something, right, and you're all plugged up and you can't breathe. Like I think we've all been there. You're just like, and you wake up in the morning and it's just like paper in your mouth, right? So that kind of thing, but like always, like kind of constant. If you have a fishy ammonia smell, breath sort of coming out, it could have something to do with kidneys. If there's a sour milk smell, it may just be a function of a high consumption of dairy products. But if you have that smell, you might think like, maybe I shouldn't be doing the dairy products, right? Maybe I'm actually lactose intolerant, right? So again, just clues, not diagnosis, not medical diagnosis. Don't hear that, but clues to make you think like, maybe let me check this out. And then probably the one that is most interesting to us, even beyond the mothballs, is a dirty diaper smell. I kind of want to know. I mean, Chanel works at a preschool, so I just feel like I want her to capture that in a bottle for us and just kind of be like, this is what it would be. But that could be actually something that she calls tonsil stone. So almost kind of thinking like acne on the tonsil. So tonsils, tonsil swelling, that smell can kind of actually have something to do with the tonsil. So I just found this like really, really, really fascinating. So what do we sort of do with all of this? And then we'll turn it over to Chanel. What she kind of talks about, the persistent bad breath is giving you these clues is like, okay, now that you might be able to attach it to something. I think with some of the things that we read are like, it might be affected by the liver or the kidney or the tonsils. That just allows you to kind of probe that particular area of your body a little bit further. Might it be some medication? So if you're wondering like, man, my breath is like always a little bit funky, you now might be able to point to some of these things and then find some remedy if that works for you. But from a maintenance standpoint, if there is something that is happening in the gut that is producing the smell, definitely enzymes. Like enzymes. I can't preach enough about how important the gut is to like every other part of your body, right? So allowing your food to digest properly. With Young Living, we have essential enzyme caplets. And I actually want to come back to that really quickly because I do think it's relevant here. But then also the entire Thieves oral care line. Grab all of it, right? There's toothpaste. There's at least 7 or 8 different kinds of toothpaste, depending upon what your taste buds want, what you need, right? Whether you're like, okay, I need sort of plaque removing, I need whitening, I need this, I need something that's not as spicy, whatever it is. Kid toothpaste. But then there's also the dental floss for the thieves line, the mouthwash, the mints, all of these things. And the beauty about using the thieves care products is the thieves oil, right, is the base of all of these, and they just have such an immunity oils in them that can be very, very helpful. So let me kind of come back to the essential oils really, really quickly, because I just want to share this while we're there, and then turn it over to Chanel, because I know that enzymes are very important for our body, and then of course do affect like everything that's also coming out. And so I was curious, like I just didn't really feel like I totally understood the difference between all of the enzymes. So I kind of had to, dug a little bit further and found some good information on that. So I just want to share that because I mentioned, essential enzymes. So that's one of our enzymes. So basically, short form, we have 4 enzymes, and 2 of them are animal based and 2 of them are vegetarian based. 2 of them are slow release and 2 of them are fast release. Okay. So if you're doing, it's basically thinking like, do I want a vegetarian option, or I'm okay with an animal or a non-vegetarian option? And then it will also turn on the time of day that you're using it, right? So your essential enzyme, which is what she mentions in this chapter, is dual coated, but it's a slow release. So you don't want to take that one with the meals. You want to take that one in between your meals, like get it in your body first thing in the morning and let it kind of do its thing for a couple, an hour or so like that before you eat. And then maybe after you eat an hour, then you would take it again, take another one if you wanted to, like before you have lunch, right? But if you're like, okay, I'm about to sit down right now, and I want, maybe it's a heavy meal or something like that, and I want to be sure that food gets digested properly, our E4, essential enzyme 4, is a fast acting enzyme. So you could actually take that with your food. And then the other 2 that are both slow and fast is the detoxime. That's a vegan one, as well as the allerzyme. And I won't go through it right now, and I've got more notes that I can put into the link, but it depends, again, depending upon, do I really need to focus on starches? Do I need to focus on carbs? Like, do I need to focus on protein? Like, what do I need to digest? And how fast do I need this to work? So I just wanted to throw in that little plug. And then, Miss Chanel, let's turn it over to you to talk us through other breath clues.
So breathing is very impactful in the body, and how you breathe lets you know what is going on with your system. How you breathe. Are you breathing from your neck? Are you breathing from your mouth? Are you breathing from your upper chest? Are you breathing from your diaphragm? So here's a real quick quiz to let you see maybe how you might be breathing. So what type of breather are you? Do you pay attention to the way you are breathing? So like, do you ever catch yourself in the middle of the day, like taking a deep breath because you've been holding it, you didn't know you were holding it? Do you breathe predominantly through your nose or through your mouth? Do you sometimes realize you are holding your breath? Do your shoulders rise and fall with each breath? And on inhalation, does your belly expand, or does it contract, or does it remain the same? Okay.
Now I'm thinking too hard.
Yeah, don't think too hard. So, like, if you ever pay attention to a baby, they breathe from their diaphragm automatically, right? So if you lie on your back, I do this when I need to check myself. I'll lay on my back, because then you automatically are forced to breathe from your diaphragm, and it takes all of everything else out of the picture, because your muscles are now relaxed. So here's a really quick way to help yourself pay attention to your breathing. So, and one of the things I want to say is that it's very important for the so let me read this out of the book. So the longest nerve in the body is called the vagus nerve. It runs from the brain through the lungs and into the gut, and it affects every organ and body system it comes in contact with along the way: the stomach, intestines, liver, gallbladder, heart, lungs, and the immune, endocrine, respiratory, and cardiovascular systems. It's a lot of things. In other words, the vagal nerve pathway is kind of a big deal. So it's very important to overall health. And it's one of those use it or lose it situations. So when we don't use it consistently, then our body gets trained out of it. So it's helping our body to retrain ourselves. So here's a real quick breathing exercise that you can start doing every day.
Ready.
Super simple. You only technically need 2 minutes a day. You can always do it for longer. But place your right hand on the top of your chest and your left hand just below your rib cage, so you're on your diaphragm.
Okay.
And then inhale deeply through your nose for 6 to 8 counts if you
can.
can.
I can start over. Okay, sorry. Go on.
So breathe deeply for 6 to 8 counts through your nose. And then breathe out for the same amount of time. So when you breathe in, you want to breathe in through your nose. And a lot of times people say exhale through your nose just because it pushes everything out. But you can also do a slight exhale through your lips, kind of like a little pinhole. But when you use your nose, it makes you have to focus all the way through. So then you're getting all of the inhale. And if you can hold it for the same amount of time that you inhale, so if you inhale for 6, hold it for 6, exhale for 6. And you want to think about it when you're inhaling your breath, your diaphragm should be expanding because it's filling up. And when you exhale, it should be pushing everything out because it's pushing it out, right? So it should contract. So inhale. And then exhale. And you want to make sure that when you're breathing, your shoulders stay firm, stay steady. So someone I learned from, they said inhale 2/3 into your lung and the last 1/3 into all of this. So you're getting all of the connection, which is a little bit more time to think, but at least start with the diaphragm. And then pay attention to how your body literally drops in the fight or flight kind of response, because a lot of us stay in that flight response and our bodies are always on that kind of let's go, let's go, let's go. When we really need to reset, sit back, let ourselves restructure, and kind of get ourselves back together. Some really good oils to put in to add with that, depending on what you want to focus on. So like citrus fresh is a great one just to get started with. Peppermint is another great one. If you're working to promote like inspiration, clarity, focus, brain power, frankincense, clarity are really good.
Oh, I have brain power.
If you're ingenious is really good.
How would we use it? Like, what would I do? Just
So
put it
you
on
can
me,
either inhale it like a
okay,
tent,
yeah,
or you can just put it in the diffuser,
okay,
or you can apply it to your feet, or wherever you feel like your body needs it, so that you're actually breathing it in. Because if you're doing it this way, sometimes you tend to lift your shoulders. So you can apply it first, just put it underneath your nose, and then inhale, put it on the top of your lip or on your chest.
yeah,
Right. So
okay,
you're getting it that way too. And then do the breathing.
okay.
Another good one, if you're having vascular issues, so like your heart, like Joy, Aroma Life, Lavender, those are all really good. If you're going through sinus situations, CC, what is it? LLPC,
Oh,
lavender, lemon, peppermint, and copaiba. Really good to put into a roller. You can roll it on yourself, along your jawline, down your chest. I've been putting things on my belly button because it goes directly into my system without having to go through my digestive system.
yeah.
So it attaches a little bit quicker. You can also put it along your jawline, which is your hormonal area, and it'll absorb a little bit quicker as well. I was going to say something, but I won't say that. So.
Because we're recording. We're live.
And then again, like thieves, if you're working on your immune system, thieves, frankincense, purification, Northern Lights black spruce. I've started actually diffusing ImmuPro at night.
Okay.
with sniffles and Northern Lights black spruce.
Mm.
And it's been one of the best things that I've ever done. Just
Okay.
because I'm working at the preschool, so all of that
Yes.
stuff that I'm breathing in with the kids, right? And they're halfway always sick, right? So at
Mm-hmm.
night, then my body can flush all that out. And I didn't think I would like Emi Pro in my diffuser, but it doesn't smell like feet.
Okay, then there's that.
So there's that.
There's that silver lining for
So,
today.
so just depending on what you're looking for to support, you can always look in your desk reference
Mm.
under the emotional guide, which is like, I don't know, 4 pages of mood supporting oils. If you're angry, upset, distressed, like whatever the mood is, whatever you need help with, there's specific oils that are suggested for that. Chapter 16, yeah. And it's so good. So all that to say, use your oils.
Oh,
Just use them.
use your
Just use
oils,
them.
people.
Put them
Love
on the
it.
top of your head too.
Oh, I
That's
do it all
another
the time.
good way. On the crown of your head.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of a diffuser in your hair as well. Then you kind of get little wisps of it throughout the day.
You can be like,
And it
I'm
works.
believe.
Yeah, and it works for your kids too. So like this is a really good one to start helping your kids have coping skills.
Mm.
I know when I'm around my preschoolers that I'll put on an oil because I can't put it on them.
Right.
Or I'll have them smell it. Because they'll be like, Miss Chanel, what'd you just put on? And I'll be like, you want to smell it? So
Might
then I'll
smell
let them
it.
smell it. So
Here's lavender. Calm down.
even just smelling it, right,
Yeah.
helps their bodies, even if they have no idea what it's doing for themselves. Which to me is fun because they don't have this preconceived notion that it works or doesn't work. And their bodies are just like, oh, you gave me something. It's a new tool. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else.
Right.
But there's not this conceived notion of overthinking.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're just kids.
And
So it's been fun just to be around them and share different things. One kid actually asked me, can you bring in an oil that you can drink? I said,
oh,
sure.
I love that.
I actually can.
I can, you little one. You betcha. Love
So
that.
you can't drink it, but I'll bring it in and you can smell it. So, but breathing is very impactful. So doing that a couple times a day, just till you get in the habit. Right hand, left hand. And even doing it on the floor again to make your body. So as a massage therapist, when you're lying down, your body, your muscles relax automatically. And so that takes the shoulders out, relaxes your neck, relaxes your head, relaxes your jaw, and just relaxes your muscles. And then you can do it that way as well.
Right.
So, and then the more you do it, the more your body comes and becomes a habit, and you'll be like, you'll catch yourself and be like, oh, let's go back to diaphragm breathing.
Right.
So, and there's some really good. One of my friends just sent me a link actually about how, was it breathing or did she say no? Hers was singing. But maybe it was in here where it talks about there's been studies on how impactful breathing is. 16 scientific health benefits of diaphragmatic breathing off from drhealthbenefits.com. So
put that in the link.
Just very important to, again, it impacts your vagus nerve, which runs through pretty much every system in your body, right? And so, and two, one thing I learned, which is the last thing I'll say, is when you actually exhale, your muscles have to relax. They can't stay contracted. So it's that breathing that helps your body go into a different space so that you can restructure your body and rethink and have clarity and all of that. So
love it. So good. Thank you.
Have fun practicing and let us know how it goes.
Yes. Breathe, people. Breathe. Love that. Thank you so much. That was so informative. Next month, we will be going into chapter 5, lingual leads. So we're talking about the tongue. That's all I'm saying, people. We're just getting real here, right? So super excited about that. Yeah, bad breath. We're going to go from dirty diaper breath to the tongue and patches on your tongue. So that's exciting. Good stuff. Good stuff. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you are not part of the Young Living community and want to have some wellness warriors on your side, please reach out to either one of us or whoever sent you the replay of this. We would love to help you get started. We are quite passionate about education, about being your own health advocate, and just using the tools that God has given us to be able to advocate for ourselves. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next